Welcome back everyone. I'm Jewel and we're in the Giants editor today, and I'm going to do a tutorial of how you export from an object from another map and import it into your map that you're working on. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm currently in Jewel's Peaceful Valley map, as you can see, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the File Explorer, and I've already opened up this Chellington Valley map, so I thought would pick an object off of it, something simple, with no functions other than it being a stationary object. Uh, so what you would do is click on the map that you want. You would then go to the i3D file to open it up, and then you would double click on it, which I've already opened it, and then you would click OK. So you would double click and then click OK. So I've already opened it, so I'm just gonna go ahead to it just to save a little time. And this is his map. So this is the Chellington Valley map. It's a really nice map. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick this playground set and export it into my map. So what you would do is you pick the object, click on it, and in the scene graph over on the left side you would pick playground castle in this case. But whatever your object is, make sure you get the top one. See, like that one highlights, but it's not the very top, the parent. This is considered the child that's underneath it. Right here, see how it jumps over to the right a little bit? They call that the child. You want the parent of the whole group. So this is the one that has the little minus sign next to it, or it could be a plus sign if you click on it and it opens up to the child. So now we'll go ahead, and since we have it highlighted, we'll go ahead and go to File at the top left hand corner, and you need to click on Export Selection with Files. Okay, don't click Export Selection, don't click Export All with Files, just click Export Selection with Files. Click it with your left mouse button click, and then you're going to go to your folder that you want to put it in. So I'm going to put it in the Objects folder. So you would basically go back to, if you had to trace it back to your map, you would go to Farming Simulator, Mods, then your map, then you could click on Maps, and then you would get to this list of whatever you've written out for your different projects. So I'm going to do Objects folder, so I double click it and open it up, and as you can see I have a gate in it, a couple gates. Then you would click on the file name area. You would click right in that little area, and you're going to name the object. I'm going to try to keep the name pretty close to what it is, so what he had it. So we're going to hit PLAY ground. So it's playground underscore capital C castle. Okay, and I don't think it's anything else, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And when that's what we're going to name it, and we're going to click Save. And you're going to click Yes, you want the parent directory structure, and you're going to do Yes, you want the game relative paths. Alright, now we're done with that. Don't do anything else. Don't accidentally delete it in that person's map that you're getting it from. And then you would open up your map if you haven't already. So you would do the same thing. Go to Farming Sim 19. Documents, Farming Sim 19. Let me just show you in case you don't remember. Alright. Let me find Documents. Documents, My Games, Farming Sim 19, Mods. Go to your map. Click on Maps. And then click on this i3D file. And you would double click it. Then you would click OK. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead to my map, which I've already opened, and this is stuff that was already in the map. Now when I downloaded the sample mod map, I had a bunch of stuff, basically everything. It's all in the sky. The only thing I've deleted is a few little things here and there, and I may delete a few more things. I had to delete the water today. I'm gonna have to make new water because it was giving me a little trouble. So I'm gonna make some new water for the map, and essentially this is going to be moved. I was just setting it there to look at it and test things out. All these work. This is the ATM stuff, but it works in game, so all that's still good. So you don't most people delete everything and just import everything, but I was just seeing how much I could save on deleting everything and save time. Maybe some of it I was going to reuse, I could just pull down. But if you have to delete it all except for the main things like the career start point, you need a field, you need certain things. So if you don't delete everything, you need the map boundaries, or you could possibly make them, but that's a little more in depth. So I wouldn't delete those. And then you need to keep the sun, of course, terrain, fields, possibly these tour icons. Well, you probably could import them. Yeah, you could import them. Some of the other stuff, gameplay, you need. Let's see. I think that's about it. Most of the rest of it, you could delete. Now you might want to keep the backdrop if you don't want to have that, or if you don't have one in mind from another map. So, but anyway, so we're gonna go ahead. We've clicked on export. Now it's time to click on file, then import. Excuse me, and then click playground castle, and it came right to it because we just put it there. But if you weren't there, you would have to click back on. Like if you were in here, you would click maps, objects, wherever you put it, and then the castle. So then click, and it has to come down here, and then you would click open. Alright, and now it's at the bottom of the scene graph, and now you're going to click edit, interactive placement, and then of course you hopefully had already prepared a spot to put it. Then you're going to left click where you want it, and there you go. It's in the map, or in the editor of the map you're making. Now, if you wanted the other objects, let's go over there and get them. So now we want to get the train. So you got to make sure it's fully done. See, this isn't fully highlighted. We got the child, but not the top of the parent. So you need to get the whole thing. Make sure you get the whole thing, or you won't get what you need. So now we're going to click on File, Export Selection with Files. Left click, and then we're going to title it Train. Or we might even could say Playground Train, because we need to know. And we could do an underscore like that. And the underscore usually is so you don't want to hit space necessarily all the time, but it doesn't I don't think it matters in this particular case. It might, but I don't think so. So then you would hit save. You'll say yes, you want the parent directory, and yes, you want the relative game paths. Okay, now you're going to click back on your Giants editor on your map, and you don't have to open it all the time, because if you highlight it down here, you'll have both maps. See, so since you've opened both maps. Now obviously this isn't where I'm going to leave this, but hopefully you've already set up an area, painted down whatever you want, dirt or gravel or whatever, and then you're going to come to File, you're going to click Import, and you're going to click on the train one. You're going to click Open. You're going to go up to Edit. You're going to click Interactive Placement, and then you're going to click on the ground where you want it, and then click again, and then it pops right in there. And if you use the interactive placement, it usually sets it perfectly on the ground, and you really don't have to move it very much most of the time. So you might hear this is a little up in the air just slightly, so you probably would have to adjust that, but most of the time the interactive placement works best. But you could do Control B, like click on it, make sure you get the full parent of the group, and you could do Control B, point where you want it, and do it that way. So, but I when I'm first bringing it in, I like to use the Edit Interactive Placement. So now we're going to go back, and there's one more thing there, another slide. Okay, so and let me see. So this one, for some reason, when you click on this one that's above it, it's highlighting something else somewhere else over there. Let's go look. If you want to go look at an object that you've got highlighted, you can hit F when it's highlighted, and it'll take you straight to that object. So it's a building. So it says, okay, so for some reason they've accidentally got the slide in the building parent structure, but that's fine, it'll still come. So hit F, highlight the slide, hit F, and we'll go back to it. See? So that gets you there faster, helps you travel around the map. So if you want to get over here to this tree real quick, make sure you highlight it, hit F, and you can get there faster. It just saves a lot of time. And then of course you could scroll, but it just takes so long to do that, and then you get lost. And so now we got to find it again. And he's got a lot of stuff in here, so let's see. Alrighty, let me back up where I can see where we are. Okay, it ain't far from here, so let me see. I think it's over here. Now I'm lost. It must be here, behind the tree. No. You can find it in the list, but it's such a long list. Let me see. Let's try over here. No. Alright, it looks like I'm going to have to really go down the list to find it. Okay. Yep. Alright, let's find it in the list. So you're going to have to find the slide. If I didn't pass it. He's got a lot of stuff in here. Normally, you would have it a little bit more in transform groups to where you're not having such a long list. But he does so good on the maps. He has a lot of stuff on there. It's really nice. So he does a good job. Even though it's a really long list. Okay, so let's see. That says castle. That's not the one I want. If I didn't pass it. It's a lot. Wow. I don't know. We should be getting close. I don't know. Man, I might have to scroll around. It was near the castle, so let me just scroll around till I find it. I think it's over here. Here it is. Okay. Yeah. Don't leave an object that you unless you know exactly where it's at on this. Try to look right here at this, see how far it is down, so you remember where it's at. So that helps you know how far down the list it is. So alright. So now we're going to click on File, Export Selection with Files. We're going to name it what it says over there in the corner on the attributes right over here. And you don't have to. You can name it what you want, but I just name it that. That way I remember what it was. Alright, and yes, we want the directory, parent directory, and the relative game path. Now we're going to go to My Map. We're going to go to File, Import. We're going to click on the slide, click Open, and then we'll go Edit, Interactive Placement, and click where we want it. And then of course, if you wanted the slide to turn, make sure you got the whole slide, which in this case it is. It doesn't have another parent group or whatever. It's its own group. You take this little green half circle. If you highlight it to turn it yellow, then you push the left mouse button down and hold it down. You can turn the slide around. See? Any object you can do that to where you want it. Like if you want it facing that way, you can do that. And if you want to move it further away, you would highlight the blue one and drag it where you want, or drag it that way, or get a little closer where you can see. You can hit the red one and go left to right. So you can do it that way. And if you grab this green one, highlight it and left mouse click and then hold the left mouse button down, lift up, come back down, then you can get it exactly where it touches in the ground, just ever so slightly. But you can see how that grass is in the slide, so you would want to lift it up, and there you go. So right where it touches the ground. And sometimes it's hard to get it, but there you go, you can see. But that's how you would export objects from another person's map and import them into your map. Now, if you pick an object from someone else's map that needs to open doors, or a gate that needs to open, there is more to it that you have to do, and I've already made 2 videos on that, so check that out. One is to do with shed, importing that, and another is to do with houses, or a house, to do that, and how to get the doors to work, open and shut. So it's a lot more work on that one, but it's easy. If you just take your time and do step by step, you can do it. So check my other videos out and follow it 100% step by step. And as far as when I tell you, that's the part you're going to be doing, because sometimes I'm showing you something that you don't have to do right then. Everybody's a little different on what they need done. So, but I'm going to be doing some more tutorials, and once I show you the basics of what each little object thing up here does, like the terrain sculpt mode I've already shown, the paint mode, you can show more with paint mode, so I'm still going to show more with that. You have the info layer, and you have the foliage layer. So we're gonna show you, I'm gonna show you more on all these as we go, and we're gonna basically be doing this whole map. So stay tuned. It's obviously, I'm not gonna leave every hill this big. This was a real world terrain, so some of it's a little much on the hills, but I'm gonna obviously leave some of them, and then we're gonna have a nice little forest area and stuff, and all this stuff in the air we're going to bring back down and delete what we don't need and keep what we want. And I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff. I brought this church in and this house in, and basically I'm going to just do it step by step. Almost most of it I'll show on video. There'll be some things I do off video, but most of it I'm going to try to let you follow along so you can learn how to do it yourself. But I hope you enjoy, and obviously I'm not 100% expert, but I know most of the stuff I need to know to do it. There's a few things I'm learning that I need to know, but I know most of it. So most of what I need to know to do it, I can do the basics. I'm not up there where I have to make my own buildings and stuff in Blender or nothing, but someday. But hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. So I'm going to catch you on the next one, and I'll keep doing more and more tutorials of this farming simulator stuff, and Giants Editor, and all the parts that go along with it. So stay tuned. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.